Hello and welcome to this edition of Foundational Exercises for Chinese Internal Martial Arts. Um, Today's episode is going to focus on what Chinese call shuai shou, or throwing your hands, or shaking, dropping, throwing your hands. Now, this appears in Taiji. People who are doing Bagua Zhang also practice it. And in our Yizong Tang Shou Dao, it is a foundational skill. Now, there are other videos you can watch about shuai shou, so why might you focus on this one? Well, a lot of the other videos are focusing on the health benefits of shuai shou, which it does have to improve circulation. One doctor claims that it cured his stomach cancer, things like that. We're not going to focus on that. What we're focusing on is how shuai shou can improve your skills in internal martial arts. So, internal martial arts seek to develop whole body power, and that requires a level of relaxation to achieve. You can't do shuai shou correctly or effectively without being able to relax. Relax your shoulders, relax your spine, relax the whole power chain that is creating motion in your extremities. So, as you'll see as we move through this series of exercises, shuai shou will help develop things that are inherently needed in internal martial arts, like song, relaxation, sui, the ability to follow the opponent, or ting li, the ability to listen to the energy of your opponent. Ultimately, it leads to speed and power. Power being, of course, the velocity of mass moving through space when it makes impact. So, shuai shou eventually leads to really fast ability to manifest power. So, without further ado, let's go into the actual exercises. They become increasingly difficult as we move along. By difficult, I don't mean strenuous. I mean there's more of a mind-body connection that's necessary, that you have to sort of divorce previous ways of thinking about moving in order to be able to internalize them. So let's go on and hope you enjoy it. So first let's think about some do's and don'ts in shuai shou. The biggest don't is don't hold your arm or your extremity in a position. The second don't is don't force your arm in a certain position. So what do we mean by holding and forcing? When we're swinging the arms, if you find that you are holding it at the top of the motion, that's holding. If you find that you are pushing, you're using your muscles to push the arm down, okay, that's forcing. We don't want to do either of those things. So the first thing I want you to try to do is just take a stance posture, okay? So we don't want our shoulders tight, we want to have our shoulders relaxed, elbows relaxed, wrists relaxed, okay? Just hold it, and then I want you to be able to release from the shoulders, release what's holding the arms up, and just let it swing. Don't use your legs, don't use your quad, don't use your waist to do anything, just let it fall. Now when it falls, it should continue to swing of its own momentum, all right? And it will continue until finally it dies down. That's what we want to have. We want to have the arms relaxed. Holding, releasing, relaxing. We don't want to be driving the arm back and forth here. We don't want to be imitating what a relaxed arm looks like. We just want to let it relax. So, some people will find that very hard to do, all right? But it's the first step. We need to relax the shoulders. Now, when we get into more active swinging, we may find that it helps a bit. So,
just rise, relax. We're not forcing it, we're not swinging it, we're not doing anything with it. Now, the reason we want to start with this is so that we can see what happens to the arms when we do assist them with this power chain that we have in internal martial arts, up from the ground, through the knees and the hips, the qua, the waist, the shoulders and the spine, that can continue to propel the arms. So, let's look first just at a motion that is rising and falling, or pumping. In Chinese they would say qi luo, rising and falling. So, that is assisting the arms to continue swinging by pumping the legs up and down. Okay, you'll note I'm not leaning forward at this point. I'm just dropping up, down. Okay? So, when we start here, when I drop my hands, I want to drop my body. When my hands reach the bottom, I want to push back up, which is going to fling the arms back as they swing through. Okay, so this is a simple motion. I want my arms to be relaxed. I don't want to hold them in place when they reach the top. I don't want to force them down when they drop. I just want to let gravity pull them. This is where we begin to learn what I was talking about, sui and ping li. If we can learn to have our bodies sensitive to just the action of gravity on the body, then when an opponent touches us, we're even that much more sensitive and able to absorb his energy and return it. So we just want to listen to our body, pump with the legs. So this is the very simplest of shuai shou. Up and down, qi luo. Now, that's the two hands together, swinging. If we start here, again, we don't want the shoulders up, we want them relaxed, we want the elbows relaxed, have the arms relaxed. The only thing that's holding the arms up are the muscles here, which we're then going to relax and drop. So the starting posture is defining how the arms swing. So that's side to side, but with qi luo. Now, the second kind of jing, or energy, that we can apply to the swinging arms is a xuan jing, this twisting, spiraling energy. Now, you'll typically see that Tai Chi people will do this one, and they're just rotating the waist like a top loader washing machine, clothes washing machine. So, rotate. I'm letting the arms fly or swing to the natural end point of the swing. When my spine becomes loaded, it naturally slows down the swing, and the hands wrap around and eventually slap the shoulders. Shoulders relaxed. Just use the waist rotation to create the swing. Now, if we just stop, then eventually they go back to quiescence. So, we can do the same one, but bending over at the waist. Okay, if we bend over at the waist and we rotate this way, so note that I'm not actively trying to hit myself. This is the natural effect of the arm coming over and closing in on the body. So that's two jings we've looked at. We've looked at rising and falling, qi luo, and the xuan jing, the rotational energy of the waist. There's one further energy we can look at, which is front to back, or qian hou. Okay, and this is very similar to an Aikido exercise they do, but we don't want to hold the arms, we don't want to use force, we just want to use the waist, the body moving forward. So that's the third kind of jing, qian hou. Now, how does it get more complex? Okay. If in the middle of an action, rotation or rising and falling, we interrupt that action and whip the body component back, it will impact, or it should impact, through the transmission system out to your extremities, what's happening at the arm. If it doesn't impact it, that means you're clogging up that energy somewhere in here. You're preventing it from reaching the fingertips and the arm, the hands. So here, let's look at an example. We did before this exercise. This 1, 2. Okay, this is just letting the arms swing until they reach the natural height, swing back until they reach the natural height. And I'm just pumping along to keep the arms moving. Now what happens if I pump the legs at a different speed than this natural speed? So you see I'm extending this back faster than on the second pump, which is whipping this hand around. This is what I'm referring to as whipping. The next kind of whipping, let's look at it when we do it with the shui, the xuan jing, the rotational energy. So normally here, just let the rotation flow and play out. But if we turn the hips back prior to the natural termination of the swing, what happens? Okay? It changes the whole tempo and demeanor, intent, if you will, of the hand action, what's happening out at the hands. So I hope you can begin to see how this can be used in your techniques, your hand techniques, your shoufa. Now, that was adding whipping. What we haven't done yet is the next level of complexity, the next level of difficulty, where we combine different jings. So we combine rising and falling and the rotation. So the simplest one is here, where the arms one forward, one back. Now we're going to drop and rotate, rise, drop, rotate, rise. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So dropping and rising. Always letting the hands flow, relax. Don't hold, don't force. Now, that's rising, falling, and rotation. Simple one. Second one that we haven't done yet, okay? Also, rotation with rising and falling is if we start here, okay, and we let the hand drop. Okay. Or the other arm. All right. So this is, again, a combination, the next level of complexity, rising and falling, and the rotational energies combined in different ways. Now, what happens when we combine combinations of the energies with the whipping? That's the next level of complexity or difficulty. So if we do this one, okay, we just learned. This is the simple way. But if I add a whip to my waist, it will drive my hands over my head into a complete loop. And the other way. And the other way. So this is all being driven by this motor here, not by these muscles here. Okay. These muscles, the whole arm is just accepting the energy from the body and continuing its rotation. You want to get to that point. So, what are other combinations? Next level complexity. We did this one, right? Okay, and we did this one, right? Or this one. Okay, what happens if we combine them? Okay, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. Rising, falling, rotational. But the nature of the rising and falling combined with the rotation is at different moments. So you need to have your body become aware, relaxed. You can feel how to make it work, how to make it move. Okay, so that's the next level of complexity. Finally, when we go for full turning, okay, this way. So I accelerate here to drive the arms. All right. More rotation, more driving, less up and down. Still a combination. So we've gone through the simplest motions of just rising and falling, rotation, okay, and we've worked our way up to combinations of the two, adding whipping, and then some very complex mind-body coordination exercises. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. We'll be adding content of interest to Chinese martial artists, internal martial artists, people who practice Tai Chi, Bagua, Xing Yi, as well as those who are specifically interested in Master Hong Yixiang's Yizong Tang Shou Dao system of martial art. So thank you very much, and we'll see you again with some more videos.